Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's take a look at what's in store today. So it's taken a week and a half, but I have finally found my first Inferno 6 essence from Yakin. I've gambled with him every single day and finally managed to actually find one of the Inferno 6 essences. And I'm kind of pissed off about it this time. The RNG has been absolutely awful for me. I normally have found like 4 essences by now at least. And yeah, I've been farming dungeons every day. I've been doing my daily tasks like bounties. I've capped everything last week by Wednesday. This week I'm literally like 500 battle pass points away from capping. I've already capped my terror rifts, and yeah, I'm already up to date on my bounties for the week. But these essences have been an absolute nightmare to find. Let me know if you've had any luck with them. I know some people have found quite a few, but I know there's a lot of people that are also in the same position as myself. So the essence that I actually found was the Equalizer, which is the main hand essence. So we're going to be comparing this to Ice Spike today. So Ice Spike is what I use in my general PvE setup. So I use this in my farming, dungeons, and raid build as well. But we're going to look at testing it against Equalizer to see which one comes out on top, because I was quite interested in this main hand when I first saw it. So with Ice Spike, every 5 seconds the next magic missile becomes a frost missile, dealing 72,909 damage to all nearby enemies. Damage is increased by 90% and magic missile damage is increased 10% because I've got that on the awakened slot. So this is what we're going to test out first. I'm going to do a 30-second test at the dummy, and as I said, this is the exact setup that I've shared previously in my build videos. So I'm going to stand super close to the dummy because otherwise the lightning nova essence doesn't actually register the damage from that. So we're going to test this out for 30 seconds in total with Ice Spike, and then we're going to check out the Equalizer and see if that is more powerful. Obviously Equalizer might work really nicely if you've got Angmits active as well, because you're going to get that burn from those new magic missiles as they're going to be a fire missile. So it's an interesting essence for sure, and as I said, it was one that I was looking forward to testing out and trying when I saw the new essences released for Wizard. So coming up to the 30-second mark now, and in 30 seconds we are at 130, let's say 132 million, because obviously we're at 31 seconds. So 132 million damage. And another thing that I just wanted to show you is that obviously we had the update, and now you can check or track your familiar damage. So you can see my familiar has done 997k damage there. So what I'm going to be looking at is if we get an increase in the overall damage here, but also if we get an increase in the damage specifically coming from magic missile. So you can see currently magic missile is my top damage in this build at 37.4 million damage. So we're going to try out the new Equalizer essence and see if that gives better damage or worse damage than the Ice Spike. So I did explain a little while ago that I use Ice Spike because I find it more beneficial than some of the other essences for the main hand. So let's test out Equalizer and see if this can actually top the damage from Ice Spike instead, because I'm quite interested to see if it does. So we'll reset the dummy and let's head in now, and again we'll do a 30-second test for this. Damage looks like it could be quite decent so far. We want to get obviously a higher damage than what we got from the Ice Spike. So let's see if we can do that. So we're looking at beating 132 million, I think it was. And we're coming up to 20 seconds now. It's not looking that promising. I think Ice Spike is still going to come out on top here, which is kind of disappointing. You can see the effect though from this new essence. So in 30 seconds, we've got 135 million damage. So it has actually topped very slightly. You can see my damage per second is higher by about 100,000. And let's have a look at the breakdown. So we have actually got more damage as well from Magic Missile. We've got 38 million there. So Equalizer is a little bit better than Magic Missile. I'm quite happy with that result. I might actually swap this out and keep this in my build. Now, there was someone that commented a little while ago about the essence that they use. So they actually use volatile arbiter on the main hand, instead of the Ice Spike. So we'll also test that out in this build. I did test it a little while ago, and we'll see which comes out on top. So this one, Magic Missile explodes every 3 hits, dealing 25,875 damage to surrounding enemies, and damage is increased by 90%. Now with this, this would work really successfully if you have increased attack speed. So if you're getting that increased attack speed from, say, one of the essences, you can get an increased attack speed here from this offhand. So as you can see here, Lightning Nova increases your attack speed and movement speed by 19%. So if you're using something like that with the volatile arbiter, you might find that you get a good result, but obviously higher increased primary attack speed would make that even better. So the number to beat is 135 million. Let's see if we can do this with volatile arbiter, and we'll see what the damage is overall from magic missile with this essence as well, because it's nice to actually compare several essences in one video so that you can see which comes out on top. So I do think the Equalizer is a nice essence. I'm going to test that out some more. I'm going to use it in dungeons and raids and see what my damage is looking like. Generally, I'm normally one of the top damage dealers when it comes to both dungeons and raids. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like overall with more use. So we've got 138 million damage here from using the new, from the old Volatile Arbiter, which I'm actually surprised at. Last time I tested it, it wasn't top. And we've got 4.6 million damage per second from that as well. So yeah, some strong choices there. Obviously, all of them are giving a good result. The Ice Spike is still the one that came out on top, I believe. We'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with the result from the new essence. As I said, I'll test that out a little bit more in some of my raid builds and dungeon builds as well. But I wanted to just make a quick video because I was just happy that I finally found one of the new essences. So I double checked, and Volatile Arbiter was actually the one to come out on top. This was the overall result. So Ice Spike was 4.5 million damage per second, Equalizer 4.49 million damage per second, and Volatile Arbiter 4.6 million damage per second. So there's not a huge difference between all three. However, Volatile Arbiter, you would get a better result from that if you're using other skills and essences that are actually increasing your primary attack speed. If you're using legendary gems, if you're using essences on your skills that will increase primary attack speed, Volatile Arbiter and probably Equalizer as well would come out with a better result. So that is it from me for this video today. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you've had any luck finding the essences and which ones are your favourites so far from Inferno 6. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.
Official Diablo Partner.